Hey, make sure to check out our live streams this month. We'll be streaming Little Nightmares 3, Pokemon Legends ZA, and Dispatch, all throughout October. Hope to see you there. It's the first of the month. Oh, how joyful. I wonder what stupid-ass skit awaits me. Hey, look, the long walk. That's the best I'm doing. August, no, September, fuck!
Skibbity, cats.
Looks like Cakey got fakey!
As per usual with my birth month, September's movies sucked. Dear God, 2 out of 5s, 2.5s, maybe a 3.5, and then 1. One movie that happens to be one of the year's best. If it weren't for the games and TV shows this month, I'd announce September as being the month my mother pushed me out of her. The games were pretty great all over the board. Only one game even reached mediocre status. And the TV shows, oh boy, reality TV is my favorite. To say the least, it may not have been a great month, but alright, let's take a look at everything that came out in September. So, this is a new one. I purely put this one in because I kinda promised that I would go watch it due to my last month's like goal, but I just felt silly. I know we've said multiple times, something being animated doesn't mean it's just a kid's thing, and something being a kid's movie doesn't mean it shouldn't still be good. This one's different, okay? For my showing, there were maybe 4 or 5 different families, all with kids with all sorts of Gabby's Dollhouse merchandise, whether it be a dollhouse itself or one of the toys, and man, after, they were so excited, you know, and it was a fine, like, guys, it's a movie for 3-year-olds, and as far as those go, I think it was fine. Mind you, this is completely unranked, I'm not even going to talk about it past this video. I've always tried to push that while I'm not a totally mature creator, when something is obviously made for a younger demographic, I try to push that. Now, when it's something like anything Assemblage makes or a Game Mill licensed title, something that's more harmful for younger kids, that's when I feel the need to call it out. But this is just dumb, but it's also something that fans of the show, which I've never watched sadly, would get into. And I know longtime fans of my channel are going to have a heart attack when I say this, but the best parts of this movie were the animated parts featuring the Dollhouse characters, which, yes, were done in part by Assemblage. Also, unironically, Kristen Wiig is putting too much into this damn performance, but that's because she's Kristen Wiig. I know it sounds silly because I literally have a series that, if you think with the simplest mind, is just me bitching about kids' movies, but this ain't the same deal as me talking about, say, Spider-Verse or a Pixar movie. This is a pure kids film, and for the first time in my YouTube career, I'm finally just gonna say, I'm growing the fuck up and realizing I was wrong for even wanting to critique it. I'm not pulling a Chris Stuckman on y'all, that's more him abandoning the entire fabric of his channel because he wanted to be nice to make his movie happen. This isn't even in the same boat. I eventually want to make video games, and I can do that and still bitch about Borderlands 4, alright? So let me give you some background here. A long time ago, when I was maybe 10 or 11, my grandfather showed me Survivor, and very quickly, it became one of my favorite shows. I loved everything about it, and I'd become a pretty big fan over the next few years. But of course, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that my grandfather sadly passed away last February. As a matter of fact, he passed away 1 week before Survivor 46 premiered. It was too soon, I wouldn't have been able to watch it and focus on it. So, I waited and said that it would make sense to wait until Survivor 47 premiered later that year. So I did, and when Survivor 47 premiered, I binged all of 46, and I have only one thing to say. My grandfather would be ashamed! How the fuck has there been 4 seasons of the show since my grandfather passed away, and not fucking one of them has been even halfway decent? I don't even blame the whole New Era bullshit because I've enjoyed certain New Era seasons. 42 was one of the best stories told in recent Survivor memory. 45 was pretty engaging and was actually the first final tribal council vote not to be a landslide in a long time. And 43 is just funny to me. But yeah, 46 to 49 can all just be called the era Grandpa Dean would fucking despise. Funny enough, before he passed, my grandpa actually expressed deep hatred for the recent seasons. And that was including 42 and 45. Maybe he knew something I didn't. I mean, he has been watching this since the original. And keep in mind, Survivor has been on since 2000, 25 years, making it one of the longest running reality shows. Any show that runs that long, especially one that relies on being interesting and fun to watch, would lose that charm naturally. I'm more impressed it's taken this long for it to happen, and it took Big Brother till its 16th season, I think. Say what you will, Survivor 49 might not be the worst yet, but yeah, there's only 1 episode out. They apparently had some behind the scenes drama where 2 alternates came in 12 hours before filming. Oh god, I don't care. Yeah, it's the worst thing I've checked out this month. Boo-hoo. Well, this has nothing to do with the Powerpuff Girls villain. Oh, wait, Doug Walker made that joke already. Let's talk about him. This movie is like watching a Bears game. Sure, it starts off fine, has a good steady beat for the first 3 quarters, nothing too special, and then the 4th quarter, it just shoots itself in the foot. I've never watched a movie kill itself quicker. The sad thing is, this film actually starts off okay, setting up Marlon Wayne's character, just given a setup, but the final, say, 20 to 30 minutes of this movie just completely fumble worse than Jalen Hurts last week. Have you guys seen those Vigil AI videos where they put these athletes as Jeffy from SML? It's pretty funny. Sadly, I've been getting more into football since it's always on in my household, so I wanted a horror football film to work. And you're probably saying, well, wait, how could something this weird not work from Jordan Peele? He's always been good as a director. Because he didn't direct this film. But don't worry, I don't blame you for thinking otherwise, because this movie really pushes that Jordan Peele was even a part of this film's production. He was only a producer, and it seems when he produces without having direct involvement, the project doesn't nearly have that much staying power. The only real highlight for me was Marlon Wayans. He was also in another movie, Requiem for a Dream, and was phenomenal there. Further proof he can put a decent performance without reminding me of white chicks. Just a disappointment more than anything. Yeah, that was annoying. So there's apparently a show from the content collective The Sidemen called Inside, which has actually been running on Netflix for a while. It even started out here on YouTube, that's cool. I've never actually watched The Sidemen before, I guess they just don't interest me that much, but whatever. And I'm slowing down a bit on the KSI hate. He can be funny, alright. Big ass forehead. No, he can just say my stomach is huge, so yeah. But now we got a USA version of that show, and here's how it works. 12 content creators are social media giants, and they didn't get me on there. Sign me up for season 2, I'm winning that hoe. They're all in a house where they gotta survive by not spending money, but also competing in challenges and being fucking obnoxious. Sadly, my problem comes from the challenges not being anything special and the cast being really obnoxious overall. I recognize I can sue from the traders, and oh yeah, I remember her being fucking annoying there too. It's just obnoxious, not even one of the worst reality shows this year, just really hard to get through. More like Conjuring Last Bites, because that's what this movie does. It's still better writing than anything in this. My problem with the long-running Conjuring series is while it has scary moments, and it's even scarier to think of this actually happening to 2 real people, the problem is that it didn't happen. Yeah, the Warrens, the people these movies follow, the real-life supernatural experts, yeah, they're frauds, it's common knowledge. And okay, every true story has to make adjustments for the movies. Don't believe everything you see, obviously. But the whole idea of Conjuring is that it's scary because it actually happened. But it didn't. And this one just fumbles. The CGI is ridiculous, and look, I love Patrick Wilson. He's usually really great in whatever he's in, but God, he just seems tired of these films. Maybe it has its fans, I'm not one of them. At one point, Colin Farrell said, 6 or 7 times, and the theater blew up. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Bill, a film about Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell going on a journey and absolutely saying they're going to love each other at some point, even though this is one of the most artificial romances I've ever seen. The trailers really got me interested in this movie. I love both of these actors, and them in a film together sounds awesome. It's also directed by Kogonada, who directed a fairly unappreciated drama also starring Farrell after Yang. Just look at these trailers. It seems like a tear-jerking masterpiece. So guess what it wasn't? This film has a huge pacing issue. I'm not joking. The first few scenes is Colin Farrell talking to his parents, then he goes to a sketchy car dealership where this German bitch talks for like 10 minutes. Then the car takes Farrell to the wedding, he meets Margot Robbie, they talk, Farrell says 6-7. The car asks Farrell if he wants to go on title of the movie, and then the title screen. This movie is not Across the Spider-Verse. Despite me literally listing the prologue of this movie out, nothing happened in that time. It was just the 2 main characters meeting and then absolutely nothing. The film is almost 2 hours long, and it feels like triple that. Farrell and Robbie have no chemistry. Not since, let's choose here. Ben Affleck and Charlize Theron have I not bought a relationship. It has a few chuckles, but yeah, continuing the horrible month of movies here, it's just nothing. Nothing at all. You know, The Naked Gun really showed that people wanted to see comedies again. The times we live in are so bland and so harmful, can't we just have a laugh? And when Naked Gun succeeded, it paved the way for more comedies. Satires, parodies, mockumentaries, okay, never mind. Spinal Tap 2, huh? The long-awaited legacy sequel to 1984's This Is Spinal Tap? I wouldn't say This Is Spinal Tap needed a sequel. Even then, this is just boring. This Is Spinal Tap is a masterclass of parody writing. One of the best mockumentaries I've ever watched. Which is why it's so sad to see how the sequel, it just doesn't get you laughing. It's boring. Every joke setup just ends with almost nothing. I guess it's cool they got the original cast members, and I'll say them going through the different drummers was really funny. Highlighted the film, actually. Other than that, what's the theme for September's movies? Absolutely nothing. Marvel Zombies, that's it. It's one of those really weird Marvel projects that I guess is cool and has some good visuals, but it's nothing I'm gonna really think about. So here's a fun fact about me. I claim to like reality TV, but I've never watched a prior season of Dancing with the Stars. I don't think that's necessarily meaning anything, as I hear people don't really care for this show that much. But for the show's 20th anniversary, I decided to check out the first few episodes of the show's 34th season. And no, the proper anniversary didn't prompt me to check it out. Scott Hoying and Corey Feldman did. Actually, half of the cast I actually know the names and careers of. That's unprecedented for a celebrity reality show. Scott Hoying from Pentatonics? I like Pentatonics. Corey Feldman? Robert Irwin? Steve Irwin's son? Danielle Fisher? Topanga from Boy Meets World? Andy Richter, the comedian from Conan? Also the voice of Mort, believe it or not. Baron Davis, Dylan Efront, how many of these did I actually know? I mean, okay, I don't know who Hilaria Baldwin or Alex Earl is. I guess there were some I didn't know. Honestly, this show's really fun, and damn Topanga, get it! I can't wait to see more of it. So here's a way for me to lose subscribers. I don't care for The Office. Well, would you look at that? Yeah, despite its overwhelming popularity, I've never really gotten into The Office for the simple fact that it's just not my humor. It's got funny bits, and I can't deny the characters aren't likable, but it's just not my show. Which made me excited for the idea of me being able to give a new spin on the spin-off, The Paper. Without having a bias towards the original show, I could give The Paper a fair chance. Too bad it wasn't interesting. Again, it's just dry humor that works a little better than something like Spinal Tap 2, and I guess it's cool to see Bill Weasley in something again. It's just not my favorite, sadly. If you want to believe me, the worst game I checked out this month was Borderlands 4. It's a high 6 out of 10. Borderlands 4 is a tough one because I'm a huge fan of the Borderlands franchise. But of course, I'm not going to get into this part, but Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, made this game impossible to want to buy. So, with all that said and done, how's the game? It's fine. It's not nearly as interesting, and just look at some of these characters. They look like Apex models. But other than that, nothing horrible, it's just not my favorite. Okay, so this month, EA revived one of their more underground series, the Skate series, with a new 4th game that's currently in early access. I've never played any of the others, but rather than review it, I'm just going to play a compilation of clips from me and Gabe's sessions with this game, because I goddamn love it so far. Pull my hand! Grab my hand! No! But that building looks just as climbable. Ooh!
Dude, if I rent
Shit! Oh! I like reality TV, and yet I've never watched The Amazing Race. My reasoning for never watching The Amazing Race is that, for the most part, I'm not a big travel show guy. Unless it's something interesting or there's a big twist involving another CBS reality show, well, looky. The recent 38th season of the show features 13 pairs, each with one Big Brother alumni in it. Yeah, there's 3 winners, and it's the past 3 winners of the show, but I like Taylor, and I guess Chelsea isn't as annoying as she was in Big Brother 26. Jag gets on my nerves. I'm sorry, his win in Big Brother 25 is so bullshit, couldn't be more fake. I agree with Izzy, I hope she steamrolls Jag. So yeah, I was interested, and thankfully, like Dancing with the Stars, this gets me interested in what could be in those 38 seasons. So far, it's one of the better reality shows I've checked out this year. It'll be even better when Kat from Big Brother 21 gets out. God, her crybaby attitude gets on my nerves. Okay, so remember what I said about him, the first 3 quarters thing? The same applies to The Long Walk, but not nearly as bad. I just think the ending is a little underwhelming. However, unlike him, the first 3 quarters are spectacular. You really get to know and love these characters and such, knowing all but one of them dies by the end, it just makes it that much more heartbreaking. The acting is also very top-notch. From actors I'm not too familiar with, lots of new names here. I mean, obviously Mark Hamill, but yeah, very few A-listers here, I kinda like that. I think if it stuck the landing, it could have been one of the best of the year, honestly. But a bad or even subpar ending doesn't negate a really good movie, so close to a 4. I just want to highlight the stream I did with Pac-Man World 2 Repack was more interesting than Pac-Man World 2 Repack. No! Stop! We're not doing this is the Final Fantasy. A nice remaster of a game I've actually never played. Yeah, believe it or not, I've only ever played the first Pac-Man World. Of course, I checked out the remaster of that game too, but here, it's so fun and the platforming and levels are so great. Makes me wonder if they'll end up doing the 3rd game, though I do hear that one's controversial. I want to take this time to quickly thank you guys for the love on the streams. Those are true highlights of my month, and I can't wait to do more of them with y'all. It's a way for me to connect and really appreciate my community. Email, because I get emails whenever stuff on my wish list drops. And it felt like a threat. Game Mill's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has dropped. I'm like, no! The best TV show I checked out this month was Only Murders in the Building Season 5. I've been a pretty big fan of the show ever since the first season, and I'm glad to say the quality has stayed. If you've never heard the show's premise, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez are all true crime nerds. However, true crime actually happens, and they're in the middle of it. This one takes a Vegas-style approach, and I'm glad to say it's still funny, still interesting, and of course, the main trio are all fantastic. I mean, you heard that lineup. This show remains a personal favorite, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Oh my god, I feel the weight of the internet on my shoulders. The second best game I've checked out this month is Hollow Knight Silksong. Before I continue, I didn't wait for this game like everyone did. I only played the first Hollow Knight this year. If this was a game you absolutely waited years on years for, and for that and all it offers, it's your best game, I'm glad. I suck at this game. But just because I suck doesn't mean I can't appreciate this game for its art, visuals, its gameplay, and of course, it being $20. I still got it free on Game Pass, but for $20 you could get that fuck-ass Bonanza DLC, or you could get this really well-made, a little difficult but still fun experience. Like I said, this was a stream game. Refer to my opening for the games I'll be streaming this month. Can't wait to see y'all. The best game I checked out this month is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I judge games by how much fun I have playing them. And yes, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is a fun kart racer. Not fun enough for $70, but still fun. Of course, Sega had some deep shit to say about Nintendo's kart racer this year, which I finally played. So it would have looked silly for them to say all that and then the game isn't good. Thankfully, Sega knew their shit. They delivered a fun, enjoyable, visually appealing, and decently difficult kart racer for a way wider audience than Nintendo did. The tracks are all fun, and it's obviously wild that I can play as Hatsune Miku! They had to see the Snapcube dub. They had to. And this game delivers on the one thing that I was disappointed by with the Mario Kart world: how the tracks interstitch to each other. The Crossworld thing is not only incredibly creative and visually appealing, it makes each race way more fun, switching it up in the right way. The price is the only thing keeping this game from going higher. I loved this. I'd say if you're worried about the price, I'm sure Sega will put it on a sale, but for me, it's the best kart racer I've checked out this year, and the best game I've checked out this month. When I tell you one movie couldn't have made me more of an understanding PTA fan. I've mentioned in the past that I'm not a hater of Paul Thomas Anderson, but fuck if I understood why people loved him. And of course, he puts the fourth 4.5 movie I've seen this year right after I said this. And I think I get it. His movies are interesting, as well as somewhat humorous, but also act as symbolism. Leonardo DiCaprio is pretty good in this. I always give he's a great character actor. Wolf of Wall Street, Don't Look Up, The Revenant. Also, Sean Penn's character is weird, but yeah, he's weird, so it makes sense. The story is engaging and even intense, the writing is pretty good. My only real issue is the runtime, but it's not enough to negate the near-perfect film I watched. Also, I feel like if you have a character named Jungle Pussy, I need to see more of that character named Jungle Pussy. Other than that, what a film. Made up for a pretty weak month. Hey, look, the smashing machine.
Why would you do that? That's my PlayStation 5. What would you do that for?